Hey guys, I'm Andrew, also known as Iron Android, and I love to talk about movies and TV shows way too much. With that being said, in today's video, I'm going to be ranking all the Fox X-Men movies from the worst to the best, and I would love to hear your guys' rankings in the comments down below. In 14th place, I have The New Mutants. Do not waste your time watching this movie. I am a fan of the MCU and Marvel Studios production, but I never met one of their movies that I haven't found watchable, and this is an abomination to society. It should not have been released at all, and I have been anticipating this movie for way too long, and for it to be so stupid and unsatisfying, it was just a big disappointment. The cast was pretty okay, but other than that, nothing else is good about the script or anything like that. It's cheesy. The backstory is nothing at all, and it just feels like an unfinished movie that was rushed and everything, so I give it a 1 out of 10. In 13th place, I have Dark Phoenix. The storyline doesn't add up. Every time an X-Men movie comes out, the character's history just changes, as if the writers never saw or cared to watch the previous movies before to get an understanding. But Raven dies in this movie, and I don't get that because she's like alive in the other movies, and she loses her mutant abilities in X2 and X3. But Magneto is finally at peace and fine, but he gets soaked back in to become a villain. And Jean Grey was born with uncontrollable powers that were just suppressed. And now she gets controlled and powers by aliens. That does make sense to me as well. Sadly, it's disappointing. I can't refund my time watching this wasted of a movie, which is why I rate it a 1.5 out of 10. In 12th place, I have The Wolverine. I knew I was in for some good time with this movie, but the way Wolverine saved the Japanese soldier from a nuclear blast was so awesome and so cool. Wolverine is shown to be living in a solitude, but comes out just because a bear died. Like what? That seemed a little odd to me, and to that for him to go over the edge, that was kind of weird. And then he goes to Japan and meets Yadashi, the soldier who is now on his deathbed. It hurts just to look at him. He is the covered hard work when they raised him up. Yadashi tells Logan that his healing powers are finished because of what he must find a way to die. Seriously, just because you are dying doesn't mean everyone wants to die. And then you show Wolverine to have lost all his powers because he was kissed by a snake poison ivy when he was asleep. Like, that's kind of stupid. But I rate this a 2 out of 10. In 11th place, I have X-Men Apocalypse. Great action movie, but I find it very confusing with all the X-Men movies. There are so many X-Men people's films, and they don't add up. Why is Raven, aka Mystique, teaching the young mutants to become X-Men, and then in the more later X-Men films, Raven is a great enemy to the X-Men? That is the only thing I can really say about this movie. But we'll say if I had to pick one good scene from this movie, it is Quicksilver saving everybody from the X-Mansion, and that's like probably the best scene in this movie. But I rate it a 3 out of 10 nonetheless. In 10th place, I have Deadpool 2. Deadpool 2 is a film that I have mixed feelings about. On the one hand, it's got some great heroes, great action scenes, and great choreography and everything like that. But on the other hand, I found some of the humor kind of not there and didn't hit as well. And I think the story was just too sappy and a little bit awkward. And you have this main character, Russell, who's the main crucial to the story, and I just thought he was just boring and one-dimensional. I wasn't a huge fan of Cable or Juggernaut's visual style either, but I didn't hate the film. It wasn't just good, it was okay. And what didn't hit as well as the original, but it was still fun and action-packed. The violence basically is normalized because it's happening in your face all the time, and I lost any sense of shock that came from this movie. But the fight scenes are very well done, and I couldn't take my eyes away from the fight scene or even the movie just in general. And the music was always great, and it had a great fit to it. But I rate it a 4 out of 10. In ninth place, I have X-Men United. The film is admirable in its attempt to deliver characters like Nightcrawler to live action and the world for the first time. It lacks a certain excitement and pleasure that I get from modern superhero films, and it feels much more like a general focus on its target audience. And I'm not saying that the film is bad, I'm just saying that it has its up and downs, and it hasn't not aged well comparison to more recent films and rewatching and everything like that. It's recently just seems dull and everything, and it's not a good film as an X-Men fan, and it's not actually one I go back to. I will say that I personally get a little jolly from the world of the X-Men and everything, and I think this one is like not the best of the original trilogy, which is why I rate it 4 out of 10. In 8th place, I have the first X-Men. The plot is simple. Mutants that have been hiding for years because the world is basically racist against mutants, and they form two factors: those who wish to dominate non-mutants and those who wish to stop them from remaining hidden once they can live in peace again. But other than that, Wolverine is good, and Hugh Jackman is awesome. Magneto, Ian McKellen, and Patrick Stewart, everything, their chemistry is phenomenal, which is why I rate it a 5 out of 10. In 7th place, I have First Class. Enjoyable despite this endless staple of prequels of movies and action and adventure and everything, and it has a great deal to the early James Bond movies and a delightful retro feeling to it, which I love. It's a good watch and a good movie and kind of develops and everything, and I love Kevin Bacon as the main villain. The big issue I have in this movie is Darwin. He has the power to adapt to anything, and Kevin Bacon as the villain puts a fireball in his mouth and he dies. Like, this villain kid literally do everything, but yet the one mutant that can adapt to everything and to survive in everything, he dies, you just kill him off. I thought that was pretty stupid and one of the worst moves they did in this movie. But other than that, I rate it a 5.5 out of 10. In 6th place, I have Deadpool. I don't think the movie had a great plot. The villain was weak. The fight scenes were alright. The comedy was phenomenal. The only thing that I really enjoyed was the comedy and the cameos. I think that they did an amazing job, and the fight scenes were fantastic. And I love the dynamic duo between Wade and Colossus and Teenage Mega Sonic Warhead and Vanessa. Their chemistry, Vanessa and Wade's chemistry, was a highlight of this movie. But out of everything, I rate this a 6 out of 10. In 5th place, I have X-Men: The Last Stand. The Last Stand is no means a bad movie, almost 20 years on it, and it holds up pretty well to this day. The issue is the storytelling and the narrative. Other than that, Magneto is the central antagonist again in this movie, and he does not make a bad decision in this movie. He's basically just trying to fight for his freedom rights because the world is basically racist against mutants, and I think that works perfectly even in the world we are living in today. The film doesn't know what to do with its characters, though, other than Magneto and the main ones. On the flip side, there are some redeeming qualities, like the action scenes. There are a censure to everything. The set pieces, the stunts, and everything like that is phenomenal, and everything still holds up to this day. And I love Beast, and I like how the cure is basically just a regular boy that has the cure ability for mutants. And I think that plays a fantastic role in this movie. But other than that, and everything, the only thing that I really have a complaint is the way that they treated Cyclops. But other than that, I rate this a 8 out of 10. In 4th place, I got Deadpool and Wolverine. To me, this is the best MCU project since Endgame. The characters were so fun, the plot was fantastic, and the cameos were so peak. I was not expecting them to bring back Chris Evans as the Human Torch, Elektra, X-23, but the 3 cameos that really blew me away in this movie were Wesley Snipes' Blade, Channing Tatum as Gambit, and Henry Cavill as the Wolverine. The way he does the Mission Impossible thing was so cool, and he took out his claws and just punched Deadpool. The best action scene in this movie is when Deadpool and Wolverine fight the Deadpool variants, and you know they mean business with Wolverine puts on his cowl. The second best fight scene in this movie is the bye 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 scene in the opening scene. But the best fourth wall break in this movie is when Nicepool comes out of the portal and he says, "I can gently tap the fourth wall too," and he just looks at the camera and says the proposal. The only thing that I really have to complain about this movie is the villain isn't really that memorable, but I rate it a 9 out of 10. In 3rd place, I have X-Men Origins Wolverine. This movie is not the bad movie of the X-Men universe, and I'm sick and tired of people saying that it's the worst. It's not the worst. And everything like that. I like the plot. It shows that Wolverine escaping his past and finally settling in, only to have his brother kill the love of his life and makes him want to get revenge. Hugh Jackman being cast as Wolverine certainly makes a huge difference, and it's able to look fierce and intimidating while carrying all the emotional perfectly and weight perfectly. It gets you really involved and will want to have you watching all the X-Men movies. The only thing I really have a problem with in this movie is the way they handle Deadpool. But other than that, I rate this movie a 9 out of 10. In my runner-up spot, I got Days of Future Past. X-Men Days of Future Past is a spectacular movie. I will admit that they do a better job handling time travel than Avengers Endgame, and that hurts me to say because I love Endgame. The movie is about the X-Men in 2023 who are being hunted by the Sentinels of Professor X and everything. So Professor X sends Wolverine back in time to 1973 to change the future after the movie becomes a complete masterpiece, and it still really does hold up to this day, and it's the best superhero movie of 2013, 2014. I think it's 14. But other than that, I think it's spectacular. All the X-Men are fantastic, and I like the Quicksilver scenes because I love Evan Peters as Quicksilver. But this is a cinematic masterpiece for an X-Men movie, which is why I rate it a 9.5 out of 10. But in first place, I have Logan. Absolutely beautiful music. The story is so interesting and compelling. Even non-Wolverine fans would love this masterpiece of an art. I suggest this to anybody looking for an action-packed movie, adventurous movie to watch on a chill weekend by yourself. You will definitely be on the edge of your seat wondering what will happen next. The movie doesn't have a lot of comedy, but it's more serious, which I really do like. But when it does deliver comedy, it delivers it so well. But just watch this masterpiece of a movie if you haven't already, which is why I rate it a phenomenal 10 out of 10. But with that being said, guys, I'm Andrew, also known as Iron Android, and if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more like it, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, turn on notifications so you don't miss any single uploads from me. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my gaming channel and my TikTok. Link will be in the descriptions for both of those things. But with that being said, guys, I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.